Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly look at life and finances with a twist where we talk about improving your overall relationship with money and building better financial habits. On each episode, I'll discuss real life situations and give y'all practical advice. The point of this podcast is to help you stay in your financial lane so you won't end up broke. I'm the creator and host, Richie. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. Child, do y'all know what day it is today? Do y'all know what day it is? Y'all, it's my podcast 100th episode, okay? Do you hear me? 100th episode. So I can't do nothing but come on here and say thank you. I always start with gratitude, but I have to say thank you because it's over 10,000 of y'all that listen monthly. Y'all have been faithful. Y'all have been growing this podcast in ways that I can't even explain. My gratitude to you, my thanks to you. I'm so grateful to you for listening. This podcast started as a thought in my mind back in 2018 and was born in my living room during the first beginning stages of the pandemic. So I can't do anything but say thank you for listening, for hanging on in there with me. I know throughout this 100th episode journey, I've been dropping gems, but it's because of y'all that I get on here, just because I wanted to have a platform where I was able to serve free gems. Especially in my industry, I wanted to make sure that I'm giving the right information out there. So I just want to say thank y'all so much for always showing up when I was late, when I was, I be slow play with it, okay? But y'all been understanding. One woman team over here, all right? So I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for all of the support, all of the encouragement, all of the prayers, all of the things that y'all have been doing that has gotten me to this 100th episode. Whatever it is, you listening, you sending your DMs, you sending encouragement, your support, all of those things, all right? I had to repeat it just because I want y'all to know just how much I thank you, just because I'm here, I'm able to have a platform and have these messages to put out there to people, but if no one is listening, it would be worthless. So I just want to say thank you so much. I've been building this tribe for a while, and so there's going to be a time I'm trying to get us all together. So if you're not already following the podcast page, make sure you go to Instagram, follow me at mindfully_rich_podcast. And I'm trying to find another lane. I have a Patreon. I haven't really did everything that I need to do to make sure that y'all are able to get on there. But I want to make sure that I'm bringing the whole tribe together. All right. That is coming up soon. And I know I say this, but it's like I'm a one-woman team. I got so many things that I'm trying to do. But over on the Instagram page, that's where we can start. That's where we can start those conversations. And I can see who really rocking with me and who not. All right. So that's the first announcement that I wanted to make. So you are listening to the 100th episode, and there's going to be lots of good things that I'm going to be sharing today. And so let's go ahead and get into some more church announcements. And so I wanted to let you know, in honor of the 100th episode, I did write my first ebook. I'm calling it a guide. It's short, it's sweet. It's only 22 pages, but it's not your average 22 pages. It's amazing. Y'all, let me tell you what. I've been doing a lot of good praying to look. Me and God, we've been seeing eye to eye. All right. I've been doing a lot of praying. I mean, talking to God, and God has been just imparting some knowledge into me, imparting vision, sight, sound, mindness, all of the things. All right. So this ebook, which I'm calling a guide, it was born from that. I was able to write this in one day, and mainly because I've been telling y'all for a while that I had some digital products, some things that I was going to put out there that I never did. And so it's something about this series that just sparked that up. And it was something about a prayer that I said that just had me up all night. I want to say maybe a good 9-10 hours to write the book, edit, do all of the things that needed to be done. I mean, like, I was up Have you ever had energy like that? Or have you ever been led to do something like that? When I tell you, it was like nothing I had ever experienced before, because I've been praying a lot, especially I told y'all, entrepreneur in business. And of course, when you don't know, all right, what's next? What's going to happen? Are we going to be able to sustain? You have all of these questions that are going. And so one of the declarations that I said to God was, give me the wisdom, impart in me the knowledge to put out there that sustains this business. And I believe digital products are going to be something that I'm going to thrive in. I'm claiming it right now. I'm claiming millions off of this just because I know, and it's not for the money, it's for the knowledge. It's for the things that I'm putting out there. I told y'all last week about selling your knowledge. I have a lot of good wisdom on how it can help you. Not it, well, how, let me go back because now I didn't forget. I have a lot of good knowledge when it comes to the financial industry, when it comes to improving your finances, organizing your money, managing your money, improving your credit, things like that. I have a lot of great knowledge to put out there. And just like I told y'all, I'm doing the same thing to make sure that I'm selling my knowledge. Okay? We are in a recession. Y'all already know. All right? We are in this series right now on the podcast where I'm talking about how you can maintain and sustain during a recession, just because we're in one right now, and I'm taking my own advice. So just wanted to make sure that I was letting y'all know that. And also, the Mindfully Rich Consultant is open for business. Y'all already know some services. I mentioned them last week, but I real quick want to make sure I let y'all know, just because if I don't talk about my business, how y'all gonna know about it? Okay, that's a reel. I think that's a sound that's on TikTok and Reels right now. So a few services I wanted to let y'all know, just because I realize everybody doesn't want 3-month coaching, right? Because my one-on-one coaching is for up to 3 months. So it is a short term, but everybody doesn't want 3 months. I do have breakthrough calls. And so if you have a problem, financial problem that's going on right now, you're looking for some guidance and you don't want to be involved in that long process of the 3 months, I know that could be a commitment. All right. So the breakthrough call is an hour one-on-one call where we just break through whatever that thing is that you need to get more advice on, or that you need guidance on. I've been in this industry a long time, y'all. And if you go, excuse me, sound like something was in my throat. If you go on my page, when I say page, my website, or if you go to Instagram, link in bio. If you go to the show notes, I have a link there that it connects you to my services, and you'll get a chance to see all of the different topics that I specialize in for the breakthrough call. So it's an hour call. It's absolutely worth it. Testimonials are on my Instagram page at Mindfully Rich if you need a testimonial. Hell, y'all been listening for 100 episodes. I mean, I gotta know something, right? And once again, I have the We Winning with Money and the We Winning with Credit Mastermind. Slots are open now. That's starting in September. Y'all, I need to fill them slots up. So y'all make sure you go in the show notes. Check that out. Share, share, share. Y'all know how to do it. Okay. We've been doing it for 100 episodes. Go ahead and do it. All right. So let's go ahead and get back into our scheduled program. And we about to jump on into the Let's Talk About Money segment. And let me go ahead and put that out there for my businesses that are listening, because I know that you're out there. If you want to sponsor this segment, hell, if y'all want to sponsor the podcast, I'm about to go ahead and put the rates out this week. Just letting you know, since we're on the 100th episode, I'm doing some new things. I got guests coming. I am now accepting sponsorships as well, and advertisements. I want to run ads, just because y'all know me. I always talk about the things that I like anyway. So I'm only going to rock with some businesses that I feel are in alignment with my business, but also feel that they can give you some type of value. That's all I want to do on this podcast, is give you value. I will never serve you junk, and I won't advertise junk. All right. So just wanted to let those businesses know, or if you know some businesses that could be good sponsors, I'm going to be putting those packages out later. Or if you just want to email me, it is in the show notes, but mindfullyrich@gmail.com if you're interested in being a sponsor or advertising on my podcast. All right. I feel like I've been talking a lot already, child. Woo! Y'all know that I'm excited about this series, just because just from last week's episode, so many people were letting me know that information was right on time. I need to do something else just because it was announced last week that we are in an official recession, the textbook definition of a recession. But I understand there are some people that are feeling this, but there are other people who aren't experiencing this yet. And I get that and I understand, but I speak to everybody. So if you're not experiencing it yet, I'll say that just because I've been grown enough to know that things work in seasons. There could be a season where you all the way up, you doing great. But then there's a season where a life change happens and it's taking you down. And now you're in a position that you've never been in. You're in that lower position that you've never faced before because of that life stage that happened. Lots of people went through life stages when the pandemic was happening, when they were losing their jobs. So when you make money, when your income is coming from a job and your job either shortens your hours or you get fired, of course, how you going to be up now? You down until you find another job, until you find another source of income. Right? That's the reason why I'm talking about all of these things. So that way you can have ways to maintain and sustain regardless. All right. So giving you some tips, giving you some motivation, and hopefully giving you some inspiration. All right. Just because as the economy declines, if it declines even more, and those people who aren't feeling it and you start feeling it, I want you to have a guide to get you through this. All right. So lots and lots and lots to talk about. I found out, I think this series may be 10-part. I added another topic. So it's going to be long. And you know what? If I decide to add something else, it may even go even longer. But it's a lot of good information. People going to be listening to this. I could already tell that this is going to be a hot topic just because recession, inflation, those are all buzzwords right now. So the listens are already up. So just thank y'all. Just thank y'all. This is going to be some good information for you to come back to as well. All right. So I want to go ahead and cover some basics just because today I'm going to be giving y'all 3 tips to help you find money in your budget so that you can afford being in a recession. All right, so I want to remind y'all of the title of this series, How to Survive Financially During a Recession. Most of these episodes are going to be focused around that, all right? And so I can't talk about that without talking about budgets, right? So in layman's term, a budget is just a plan for your money. I've been saying this for so many years, just for those people who need like an extra analogy to help them understand what a budget is. A budget is your money's GPS system that's telling your money what to do because you do not, hear me out, you do not want to get paid and then your money is just telling you what to do. And you probably wondering, how does that happen? When you don't have a plan for your money, things are happening every single day. There are going to be people that's going to come to you. Can you do this? Let's go out here. Or you should pay this. There's going to be things that you see on TV that's going to be, let's get this. Maybe you should buy this. There's going to be something you see on social media. There's going to be lots of distractions if you haven't already made an intentional plan for your money. And lots of people I found just in my experience being a financial coach, being a financial educator and talking to people who tell me they don't have a realistic budget. They don't understand budgets or they budget in their head. That's not something that they think that they need to do because they don't make enough money. I'm here to tell you, if you don't make enough money, you absolutely need to have a budget. Everyone needs one. All right. I always use this example because I went back to see how many episodes I've done talking about budgets. And y'all, it's literally maybe about 5 or 6 episodes. Well, I guess in 100 episodes, that's pretty good. Right. And so I want you to think back to every single time the government has shut down. They've shut down because they couldn't agree on the budget. Anytime, this word comes up a lot. When someone is getting married, when they're working with a wedding planner, they want to know, what's the budget? I was just watching Brat Loves Judy, and they were talking about how they had, I believe it was like $100,000 budget that they ended up spending $300,000. Now, they got all the money. They got coins, okay? We regular people, all right? For us regular people that's listening, okay? It's some big people that's probably listening to, okay? I don't want to say that we all regular with the regular coin, okay? And so a lot of us can't do that. When you go over budget, you bust. That's it. Like, where we getting that money from? So it's important for you to understand what a budget is and how important it is to working in your life and with helping you to achieve the goals, doing the things that you want to do, along with having the things that you need in your life. A budget does just that. And lots of people, they get it all messed up. I always call budgets the B word that people don't say enough, right? And I don't know why. Because it really can help you. But a lot of people don't like sitting down and facing the facts that they're going to find when they're sitting down and they're doing their budgets, all right? So the first tip to help you find money in your budget so that you can afford being in a recession is going to be renovating your budget or actually creating a budget. I just talked about this. I know quite a few people, all right? Quite a few people mean hundreds of people that don't have budgets. But for those of y'all out there that do, we're going to renovate your budget. And I want y'all to hear the reason why. You probably have heard people say you need to be living within your means, right? Now, when I hear someone say you need to live in your means, I feel like they saying you need to live paycheck to paycheck. And that ain't something that you want to do. There's over 80 something million. I don't have the exact number at this particular time, but the last time I checked, there's over 80 something million people who are living paycheck to paycheck. We know that that's not a good place to be in, because that means if something break, if something happen, you don't have the money to do it because you are all the way up in your money, in your spending right now. You only got enough to pay for the things that you have right now. That doesn't include any savings. That doesn't include you being able to go on those vacations. That doesn't include any of those emergencies that will happen. I'm grown enough to know that emergencies are going to happen, right? So you don't want to live within your means. You need to live below your means. And creating a realistic budget that puts you below your means is what's going to help you in the end. All right. So when you're creating that budget, when you're creating this audit system so you can see how much you're actually spending, I created a method called the HIT method. Oh, my goodness. I was so excited for this, y'all. OK, child, I've been getting into frameworks lately when people are using like words or little acronyms and stuff to describe what it is they're doing. Child, I got so many. And in the ebook, oh my God, y'all gonna love it. Okay, so I'm just super excited. All right, so the HIT method. H stands for highlight. So what you're going to do, you're going to take 5 highlighter markers, right? And you're going to print out your bank statement or wherever you're spending. So you may say, I'm spending on a credit card. I'm spending from one of my bank accounts. All right. So you're going to print those out just because you're going to take these 5 highlighters. You're taking a green highlighter to highlight your income, a yellow highlighter to highlight your household expenses, a blue highlight, Z5 to that, to highlight your debts, an orange highlighter to highlight any other bills that you pay, and a red highlighter to highlight any extra and unplanned things that you spend money on throughout the month. Okay? When you do that, the next step in the HIT method is isolate. So you want to isolate those categories. So you've highlighted all of those different categories. You're isolating them now to add them up. You want to add those up. And the reason why you're adding them up, so you can see how much am I spending on household expenses? How much am I spending on my debts? Just to clarify, for debts, loans that you had to get credit for, a car loan, a home loan, a personal loan, a student loan, those are all debts. If you owe a firm or any of those are for the most part are going to be in your debt category as well. PayPal money, all of those things, those are debts, right? So you've highlighted all of those categories. You've added them up. You're isolating them to add all of them up and see where you're at. You have your income in green, so that way you can see on the page, because I don't know how many people I ask, how much do you make? And they be like, I don't know. You should know that. Okay, you should always know how much you make. All right. So once you've isolated those categories, you've added them up, you've seen how much you're spending or how much you make in that income category. Now you're going to take action. You need to take action and you need to see, all right, I'm spending a lot of money in XYZ category. How can I decrease that? What can I do so that way I can bring this down? So you know if you're spending too much in the household expenses category, it's a household expense. what can you decrease that spending to? What can you now spend on where you're still getting the same thing, but you're spending less? Or you're cutting the amount that you were getting. You get what I'm saying, okay? If it's your debts, how can you refinance your debt so that if you are in a position where you're able to go get a loan and you can refinance, maybe your credit score is higher now. So now you can get a lower interest rate and you can decrease your payment. What can you do to decrease those categories that you find you may be spending too much money in? Because remember, the goal is for us to live underneath our means. Means meaning the income that we bring in. Once again, I told y'all, if you need more means, you need to make more money. All right. So you want to think about it like that. But for now, when you are analyzing and taking inventory of your expenses, this is going to be great information because it's going to be an eye-opening and motivating experience so you can see what you need to do next. You don't just want to just throw spaghetti at the wall because you don't want to see what your finances are doing, how much you're actually spending. That method that I told you to do with the statements, when you're going through the HIT method with your bank statements or with your credit card statements, wherever you're spending at, it is one of the most powerful things that you can do to get you from point A to point B. Lots of people, when I coach them through doing that in their finances, and they get to see how much they're actually spending because they can't lie to their bank statement. They can lie to me all day, but when they're showing the categories that they've highlighted, like, you ain't even got to show me. It's mainly for you. Okay. But when I'm with my clients and they show me, wow, this is what I was doing, I'm like, this is for you. So that way you can get a hold of whatever this spending is and find ways that you can decrease. All right. If there are streaming services, can you get another plan? Can you kick some people off your plan? Can you get on somebody else's plan? Y'all, just thinking and being creative and looking at different ways that you can decrease that spending. That's the reason why isolating them, putting them into categories is going to help you a lot. So you can go category by category instead of trying to eat an elephant all at one time. Okay. For those of y'all that have been rocking with me and listening to the podcast, I done told y'all my broke story. Y'all already know, child, back in 2015, your girl was broke. I went through such a time, y'all. I was just sitting here pausing because I was like, how I want to say this, just because I don't want to ever seem or appear to be bitter, just because these are now testimonies for me. But I went through a separation that led to a divorce. And so my journey started here in California at 30. And y'all, it was expensive as hell. So here's my journey started in California. I'm going through this horrible time, this life stage. Once again, I mentioned this earlier. There's different life stages that can take you from being up in the sky, doing great, to being down at the bottom. And that's what mine did. So back in 2015, it was me and my kids. I was co-parenting my kids, and I was working a job where I was only making $38,000 and $38,500. Let's say it like that, $38,500 a year. And y'all, that's before taxes. Okay, y'all heard me. So after taxes, that's about, let's see, give or take $26,000, $26,900, something along those lines. Let's just go ahead and just add it on up to 27. All right. So after that, that's probably about, that was like maybe $2,200 a month. Y'all, I'm grown in 2015 with 2 kids, and I'm trying to live off of $2,200 a month. That was nothing, y'all. Oh my goodness. When I tell you that was one of the best times of growing for me. So this HIT method that I'm telling you about, that I'm telling you to do, I had to do at that time. Y'all, it was something for me to make it. And I went through that for a good 2 years. 2 years. Maybe it was a year and a half, but I went through that for a while until I was able to get myself out of that situation. And I was only able to get myself out of that situation when I sat down and I was being truthful with myself about how much money I was really making. I was in denial for a second. I've been in the financial industry for a while, but I was going through a situation that was beyond me. It was what it was. And I had to make sure that I was doing something so that I could get away from making that $2,200 that I was making, child. That wasn't enough for me to put groceries in my house, for me to let alone pay any bills, for me to even have any extra money, for me to take my kids on vacation. Child, that's what started getting to me when I start adding up those categories and seeing, yo, I'm spending way more money. I don't have enough to do these things. So I had to figure out, how am I getting myself out of that situation? So I know that HIT method works because it's something that I've used myself, which leads us to the next step, which is determining how much disposable income you make after each check, or how much disposable income you want to make. And a lot of people get disposable income messed up because you think of discretionary income, and discretionary income is the money that you make after taxes. Disposable income is the amount of money that you make after paying all of your debts, your expenses, and your bills. So disposable money is where it's at. It's a big difference, all right? We want more disposable income. And when you're doing that HIT method, you're seeing, do you have any disposable income? How much disposable income do you have? You know what lifestyle it is that you're living. How much disposable income do you need? And disposable income is where you get the money to save, to put away for emergencies, to go on them vacations that you like, to do all of the things that you want your lifestyle to include. And child, at that time, the story I just gave y'all, when I wasn't doing those things that I wanted to do for me and my kids, that was pissing me off. We got to get up out of this. We got to figure this out right now. All right. I figured out how much disposable income I needed so that we could live comfortably. Right. And I want to tell y'all a story. On Instagram recently, there was a teacher. He had been teaching for 6 years and he left his teaching career so that he can work at Walmart. And the post went viral because he was saying at Walmart, he was making $12,000 more a year. So depending on his tax bracket, he's making anywhere up to $1,000 more each month. What could you do with an extra $1,000 of disposable income? What could you do with that? How could your life change? How can your life improve? How much more comfortable would you be able to live if you had $1,000 extra in disposable income? And y'all probably are asking yourself, okay, I want it. I could do a lot. All right. How much do you want it? What are you willing to do? If you're working a job right now, are you going to seek those promotion opportunities? Are you going to look for other job possibilities if it's not available in the job where you're at right now? What are you going to do? Because that's the thing. When it comes to making more money, there's not a secret formula for that. You got to be intentional about that. You got to get up, get out and do something. You got to get up and figure out, what are you going to do? You got to move your feet. Because if you're not moving your feet, you're not going nowhere. You're going to stay exactly where you at. So going back to the example where I told y'all about my situation, I knew I had to do something because that little $2,200 a month wasn't going to kick it. Not for the lifestyle that I have, that I know that the Lord has for me and for my babies. Okay? So you got to think about it like that. And so I've already moved into step 3, but step 3 is finding ways that you can increase your disposable income, right? I talked about the job already. Last week, I talked about how you can start making passive income by increasing your income streams, right? You're going to have to go back to that episode. But I said, can you monetize a hobby? Can you start monetizing a passion project? Starting that what if job, and or selling your skills, your knowledge, packaging your genius. That's what I'm doing with this ebook that I want y'all to go buy. Check the notes, okay? Link, okay? Buy for the 100th episode. How could you do that so that way you can increase the amount of money that you make? Remember, making passive income is the one sure way that you're able to create the financial stability and security that you need in your life. Woo, that was a lot of information, child. This episode getting long, but I want y'all to know overall, I want y'all to be financially secure and financially stable. We're in a time where our economy is declining. If this recession gets bad, let's say that, Because once again, I know that there are people who are feeling it. There are people who aren't feeling it right now. But if it gets to a point where you start feeling it, I want you to already have this knowledge, this wisdom that you've imparted in your own finances so that you can find a way to gain extra income. So that way you'll be straight regardless of what you see going on in the economy. You and your family, you and yours, as we like to say, y'all gonna be good. Your bills gonna still be paid. You still able to put money away and have savings and be able to do the things that you need to do when you need to do them. Because the one thing that does happen during a recession, emergencies pop up like crazy. We don't know. It's uncertain times, and it's called that for a reason. So I'm hoping that the information that I shared here today, the information from last episode, that it's been valuable, that you do something with it, that you're intentional about making changes in your financial situation if need be. All right? Y'all don't forget, it's the 100th episode. I want y'all to go get the ebook. Link in bio on my Instagram page. Also, you can go to the show notes where you're able to purchase the ebook. Yes, 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 yes. I'm super excited. If y'all want to send a love donation, because today is the 100th episode, I made it a little longer. I was talking on here because I can. You want to send a church donation, you can go ahead and send that to, what's that? $, Rich E85. Just if you want to support for the 100th episode. You don't have to. It's up to you. It is the 100th episode. It's like a birthday or something. Okay. It's an anniversary of some sort. All right. So you can go ahead and do that. But I done been talking a lot. That's all I got. Ain't got no more. That's a remix to the old episodes, to all my people that's been listening for a while. But I want y'all to live life mindfully, intentionally, and on purpose. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.